All right, so welcome everybody. My name is Tommy. This is the first session of Rock Hard Studios in conjunction with Pocono Scene. And this will be hopefully a series of chats with local bands that play out of the Rock Hard Studios right here in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Dave Reiser is the proprietor and engineer and producer that runs out of the studio. Both Ken and I, and Ken is the lead singer and the guitar player for Triplegrande, which we'll be focusing on here today. But both myself and Ken had the lucky experience to be working out of the studio collectively. I mean, I play and sing in a band called King Kong, and like I mentioned, Ken does the same for Triplegrande. So, this will be the first in a series of chats about the studio, about the bands, and about the scene that's currently going on here. So, Ken, why don't you introduce yourself?
Ken, Triplegrande, guitar, songwriting, riffs, if you want to call them.
The Rhythm and Doom Review is the CD that has recently just been released, and we'll talk about how you can get that later. But, so getting back to what I was initially saying, so Triplegrande is a band in the Pocono area. They've been around for a number of years, and what we're going to talk about today is the origins of the band, their sound, and when and how this all started.
When and how it all started, the band itself, for a pretty good period of time, I put down the guitar, and when I got to the right time in my life, I started playing again, looked for a couple people to play with, and my intentions were to do what they did at the Desert Sessions. Okay. Just a group of people that know each other, all brothers, we all jam, and that's how it started. And we came down here, we did our first session here at Rock Hard with probably 5 different people.
Okay.
You know, and those 5 people have played with me on just about everything we did here, and this is probably the 5th time we've done something here. So,
and for those who don't know, the Desert Sessions is a collective out in, I think it was Palm Springs, right?
Yeah, Palm Springs, yeah.
And that features Josh Holm from Queens of the Stone Age and various other musicians from the area. And what they do is collectively get together and release albums outside of their main bands. So that's the origins of how you guys got together. And we recently played together. We actually just played together, and Ken put the show together over at the Sherman Showcase right on Main Street here in Stroudsburg. And it was a great show. We hope to do it again. It was a collective of bands. King Kong played, Triplegrande headline, and we also had the Mercy Gang play as well, and Super Deluxe from Philadelphia. But so the intent here is to get a collective of bands that play together on a regular basis and to really sort of create a scene here. And I guess the question is so now it seems to me mention the members of the band currently.
My current members, my guys right now, my crew is Tori on the drums and Jose on the bass.
Okay. And it's a very solid lineup. And one of the things we're about to show you right now is one of the songs off a video they recently done right here. It was a live session taken the other night. And one of the songs that's actually on this disc. Oh, it's not actually. 1,000 Dogs. It is. Oh, yeah, 1,000 Dogs actually is on the CD.
Number 2, the one after 1.
So this is actually a great song. I'm a big fan. So right now we're going to take you to the video taken the other night here at Rock Hard Studios. This is 1,000 Dogs by Triplegrande.
1,000 dogs, 2,000 dogs, 3,000 dogs.
Okay, so that was 1,000 Dogs by Triple Grande. So it's a very interesting title, Ken. So I wanted to ask you, what was the inspiration behind not only the title of the song, but where the song in essence came from?
I guess the song itself, it was just we used to it was just a little warm-up jam, a couple different riffs, and then I thought I could put lyrics to it. At one point we were strictly instrumental, no lyrics, no singing, no nothing. So I thought it was something I could put lyrics to. There's a hook that everyone could remember, and I guess that's good or bad. Not everyone wants to remember a song they might not like. So, but anyway, 1,000 Dogs, yeah, the song itself was just a jam, and then one time Tori had a bass riff. We're like, okay, that's the whole song. So we get into that tangent at the end that it's almost a car chase soundtrack at the end.
You know, it's funny you say that because that's the one thing I get from when I listen to your music. It does sound like it could be a soundtrack for some kind of 70s,
anything moving,
like
so
some kind of drive-in movie or something like that. So,
hauling ass.
And you mentioned this, and I'm glad you brought that up. So it says a lot. The origins of your songs really start out from an instrumental perspective, right? It doesn't
always.
Yeah.
So anyway, with 1,000 Dogs, before I forget, 1,000 Dogs during the Trail of Tears, when the natives were moved off their land by the government, their dogs could not go, obviously. And as they were crossing the Mississippi, thousands of dogs swam to their death to get to with their owners. So, 1,000 dogs, man.
That's pretty deep. I had no idea that was what inspired this.
It's pretty deep, yeah. And I didn't have much to say about it, so.
All right.
The lyrics are very simple. So lyrics are very minimal in Triple Grande. So,
but the meaning behind what the title is speaks volumes.
That's what 1,000 Dogs is. So,
and so with the intent of this CD. So I mean, in regards to where we could find this, is this something you're currently working on? I mean, well, how do we get?
It's finished. I usually hand them out to people that I like.
Okay.
Sold a handful of them at shows,
right.
But more or less I just have them. I never really officially did the Bandcamp or iTunes or anything like that. None of the platforms, because I would like to. I don't know why I want to have more of a collective, but I would like to have. I'm already up to 4 different sessions. When I have 5 sessions, I might be able to represent that to someone that would be interested in it, rather than put it out there first. This way, it's something new.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So we like to jam. 1,000 Dogs, it's a good jam at the end. That's a fun one. And like I was saying before, there was no lyrics for a long time until Tori started playing. Oh, and on this CD itself, Tori is on the bass for these tracks.
Okay.
And Steve was the drummer at the time.
Got it.
So, but Tori's bass player on here. And that jam session, that was Tori's riff, which was a good one.
Excellent. Thank you, Ken, for sharing that with us. So what we're going to do now is going to check out another track from Triple Grande. This one is one of my personal favorites. I rock this one a lot in the house. So this one's called Square Groupers. was Square Groupers, and so Ken, there's an interesting video that's currently on YouTube where you and the guys are playing out in the woods. Could you tell us a little bit more about that experience?
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That's actually how I met Jose. I put a Craigslist ad looking for a bass player, someone to jam with, and I was just thinking about doing different things and not playing. Prior to that, I was playing with someone, and I couldn't get that guy to leave his house if I gave him $1 million. So I was like, I got to do something fun.
Right.
So when I put that ad up, that guy that we were jamming with, when we leave his house, we could have been asked to play with Grand Funk at Shea Stadium, and he would have said no.
Right.
So I was like, I need to do something. I need someone exciting, and Jose was the guy that answered my ad.
Excellent.
Yeah, and played on and off with him for years now. He's been on a bunch of different of our recordings that we did here. He's on the first one, which I should make available again. That was 5 or 6 or 7 songs, all different people on them, percussion on them.
Should make that available again. You should give me a copy at least.
I owe you a copy.
Yeah.
I owe you a copy.
And one thing I was impressed with too was that the sound quality of this video.
I forgot to even mention outside.
So to tell us about how that came about.
So in my Craigslist ad, I said, let's go jam outside.
Yeah.
And I knew Jose for years, and maybe 6 months ago, we just took little amps and little power wops, and we and him went in the woods and jammed.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, Jose, this is going to work. We'll put this together. And that's when I got with Dave. I got with Timmy. I said, we want to shoot on location.
And that's Timothy Theory.
Timothy Theory here at Rock Hard also.
Yes.
All the video works are from Timmy. So I got with those guys. I was like, I want to do a location out in the woods, full sound, full video.
Yeah.
And we did it, and it came out great. A lot of work went into it. We all played great. And the sound is incredible on that.
That really is. It's incredible
Yeah.
because if you know what I'm talking about, to accomplish that outside.
Right.
And really capture that sound the way it's captured. And you guys are playing live. It's not like it's pre-recorded music. You guys are actually playing. So in order to put that together, props to Dave and Tim and Rock Hard because that's not easy to do. And I know that firsthand. So, but yeah, it's an impressive video. You could definitely see it right now on YouTube. Definitely gives you a sense of the band, where the band comes from, their cultural influence, not even just from the musical standpoint, but you get a vibe from this video. And I recommend everybody go see it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on the last song of this trio.
Last song's Late Summer Hustle, new song. This one's heavy. It's good. It's got a good jam part in it. And we wrote it. It was funny. We wrote it, and we had the jam at the end. That's usually what you do. And I'm like, let's jam the beginning. And it worked out good because, it's once we get to the song, it's very unexpected.
Which, I'm a big fan of that as well. And even within our band, that's just a lot of what we do. Jeff Mackey, who plays bass for King Kong, it's a lot of what his style of writing is as well. It's at the end of the song is where we start to bang out a bunch of new ideas and it kind of takes out. And we're also fans of that kind of structure as well. So this is the last song of the trio. Once again,
Late Summer Hustle.
All right, check it out. Okay, so Rock Hard Studios in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. So, Ken, let me ask you this. So, I myself am a guitar player, and I know that I'm kind of a guitar junkie myself. Like, so I buy a lot of guitars, I buy a lot of pedals, I buy a lot of things, and you know, a lot of it influences my creative process as well. So, I guess I'll start with that. So, what is your personal creative process? So, as a guitar player, I'm inspired from a lot of different things. You know what I mean? So, other musicians, you know, walk down the down the street, whatever that is. So, what sparks the creative process in you?
I really like things that bounce. Things got to have a bounce to them, whether it be a girl or a ball. It's got to bounce. So what I do is I have my riff library, I guess you could call it, and I'll put a couple riffs together, and then I work on them with hip hop drum beats.
Okay.
As my backing track.
To keep that rhythm in place.
To keep it bouncing. So once I'm pretty sure about something, I'll give it to Jose and Tori. I'll be like, this is where we're going to start. And everyone has a good idea where the song, what the flow is going to be right away.
Right.
So that I've been doing that for years. And when I started doing it, I'm like, this is silly. You know, like just dumb drum machines or YouTube tracks or just dirty hip hop beats. And I'm like, all right, that actually sounds good. Yeah. So after enough of it, I got a whole process. Yeah. But that's how it usually starts, And
I mean, just listening to your music, obviously, I mean, and you mentioned the Desert Collective and, influences like maybe Queens of the Stone Age, but, from what I'm gathering too, there's a lot of, 70s blues rock in there. There's a lot of psychedelic influences. Obviously, Sabbath, Zeppelin, there's a lot of that in there as well. But who are your favorite artists growing up?
Well, growing up, it's, of course, everyone says this. That's a tough question because there's 9 million answers. But, For what we do now, I would say things that I listen to that are super influenced would be like Grand Funk, Deep Purple, shit like that. I'm things that bounce. You know what I mean? Like Zeppelin bounces. Right. You know what I mean? So things like that. Everything has to have this flow to it for me. Right. But a lot of like the Desert stuff, all those guys, a lot of old Jersey metal, classic metal, old Jersey guys. So we all grew up on metal. Yeah. And New York hardcore, you know it better than anybody else here. Maybe Jeff knows.
Yeah, well, Jeff has played in a couple of hardcore bands as well.
Maybe Jeff.
But yeah, and that leads me to say, like, let's talk about your rig a little bit. So the other night when we played together at Sherman Showcase, we were both checking out our pedal boards and things like that, and also your guitar. So what is your main axe?
It's made in Mexico, Stratocaster, 2 humbuckers. Yeah. And then I believe that's mid-90s, early 90s, maybe 93 or 94. Okay. I bought that guitar on a trip while I was working, and when I got home, the guitar was there, and I put a bunch of riffs together, and that's how that one worked. And since then, that has been my favorite guitar. Since then, I've gotten many guitars. Oh, maybe this one will be my favorite. I want this one to be that one, no matter what, I can go back to it anytime, and it outplays the rest of them.
And I think, and earlier we were talking before I started doing this, and you mentioned something about Seymour Duncan pickups. So does that guitar contain those pickups?
Yeah, all my guitars have a Seymour Duncan 59 in the neck. I stay on the neck. The bridge pickup doesn't even have to be wired up for me. Everything goes through the neck pickup, and I use the same pickup all the time, and it's just certain tones. Any guitar or any setup, still I could get them certain tones. Yeah. So.
And then I also noticed too, I actually jumped up before you guys started playing, and I was looking at your board, and there was a couple of interesting pedals there. You want to go through the board a little bit?
There's this greatest new invention that I never heard of. It's called the volume pedal. I just got one of those and never knew why. I never had. This one even has a tuner in it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's the one. And was it an Ernie Ball or something?
Yeah,
like
Ernie Ball. Right? I don't know why I never had a volume pedal. I needed one all my life. Yeah. So anyway, just a volume pedal. The Crybaby's a bass Crybaby. Okay. That actually it actuates the opposite. There's no button. It's spring loaded, so it starts on your heel. Rather than turning it on with your toe, it starts the opposite. That's how I get a lot of that.
It's like almost like a different envelope filter or something like that.
Right, that's how I could, how would you say, I could make that, like my reverb trail with that Crybaby. So, and it's a bass Crybaby made for lower frequency.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, that's cool. I use a reverb, don't go off, Topanga reverb, And my delay is carbon copy.
And I mean, is the fuzz always on in your
The
sound?
fuzz, I
Yeah,
use
yeah.
it very little, just for a couple parts.
Okay, so a lot of that gain's coming out of the amp, right?
Always, yeah, always. So, and that fuzz pedal, it's custom made by Jesse Viola makes them. Dog Brain Effects. Anyway, I use that a lot to make noise. I fuzz it out. I hit the gain on it. Half it's a gain, half it's a fuzz, and the crybaby just goes nuts. So I use it for certain things like that. And then I have another dive like a tape echo that I also been using
tape
now.
echoes. I love a lot.
Freeze pedal I use, which is just holds a drone note.
Right.
So throughout 1,000 Dogs, there's always a note playing. We could stop, and it's just like someone laying on keyboards. So that's there all the time. Now that next time you listen to it, you'll hear it. Now that I mentioned it.
Yeah, and I also know. I mean, and also just like Jeff in our band, but Jose in your band also is a fan of effects as well. So I noticed that there's a lot of crybaby coming out.
Yeah,
of
this time he busted it out, which was good. Yeah, he played it a lot. It sounded really good.
Yeah, it sounded really good.
So we usually set up Jose dirty.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes clean, but most of the time his tone's pretty dirty, and it accommodates mine. You know what I mean?
That's great.
So.
Yeah, and then the sound itself, I mean, it's a very defined sound. So once again, I recommend everybody definitely check out the videos on YouTube. It's definitely very cool. Like I said, it was all performed live. All the sound was, recorded by Dave and Tim at Rock Hard Studios in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. So yeah, I mean, thank you for taking the time to speak with us, Ken.
Real quick, I don't even know how to find our stuff on Dave's YouTube, because there's actually 3 songs from the Pinchot Trail.
Okay.
And then what we just did yesterday, which will be ready as soon as it's ready. But I usually just tell everyone, Google Glenwood, Triple Grande, or, and it'll come up on Dave's YouTube.
Okay.
And got a bunch of hits, and looks like people like it. And that was another cool song, Glenwood. That's the first song when I had a lull where I didn't play for a long time. And driving, I would just have riffs going in my head nonstop. That's why everything has this push to it and this drive to it.
Right.
All these riffs are while I'm driving. I hear these things. And I've done Glenwood with everyone I've jammed with in the last 5 years. And it's great because every time it's just a little bit different. And I think now the version on the Rock Hard from Pinchot Trail is the meanest and nastiest Glenwood that there could be. It's a good one. And we never do it the same. It's a jam song.
Right.
So it's never exactly the same. We always, turn it up or turn it down. We always do something. But that was a good version of it.
Excellent.
So.
Well, yeah, definitely check into that. And once again, like I said, thanks, Ken, for joining us here today. Rock Hard Studios in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. These are the Rock Hard sessions in partnership with Pocono Scene. Please tune in for the next one. We will let you know that. And to Ken's point, what we're going to do is put a couple of addresses where you can find not only Triple Grande's material, but Rock Hard Sessions material, and check those things out. And once again, thank you, and hope to see you later.